Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 18 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Nothing new today, as the same old, we are finishing up our time with the double belly drum team. I think I'm going to try to get a new team in-game probably by Saturday or Sunday, ideally Saturday, but we'll see. And I'll do a team breakdown / analysis, as I've mentioned, for this team when it is done. So yeah, you guys have that to look forward to. In addition, Costa Mesa Regionals is actually next weekend. I didn't even realize how soon it was sneaking up. So yeah, I'll be attending that. That, of course, is the regionals over down in Southern California. It's also going to be streamed at twitch.tv/NuggetBridge, so hopefully I'll make an appearance on stream, and I'm looking forward just to competing in my first regionals in a long time. Anyway, we're going to get this episode kicked off going up against Alex, running a relatively standard team. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, Alex is the team of Landorus, Amoonguss, Tyranitar, Zapdos, Tapu Koko, and Metagross. So pretty much the same team archetype that won the Oceania International Championships, just with the Fini instead of the Lele. So otherwise, like typically you'll see Mega Metagross, a Tyranitar could be Mega well, and it just is a really strong team overall because it has a lot of good Pokemon, a lot of good type synergy, and just a lot of strong attacks overall. So let's see how I want to approach this. Without Lele, I'm thinking Kangaskhan actually might be a viable option as a lead. The only issue is the Amoonguss. We saw how much problems Amoonguss really could give me yesterday. Alternatively, I could just go with Kangaskhan Gothitelle because Helping Hand Kang does so much damage to everything. Like, what I'm thinking, alternatively, is Kangoth, and then try to go for a belly drum setup with Snorlax in the back. That actually doesn't seem too bad either. Just because Fini walls Azumarill, even if I get set up. So I think I will go Kangoth. We'll go Snorlax. The last one is tricky. I'm deciding between Amoonguss and Koko. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Amoonguss, though, just because I can redirect things away, and I can still Spore, Metagross, and, Zapdos, and Landorus. So, yeah, I'm going to go with these four. So Kangoth to put on a fast offensive lead, fast fake out obviously, but Kangaskhan can get Helping Hand pressure with the Goth as well, and we'll go from there. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like Landorus come out immediately as a lead, but the thing is, if it's not Scarf Landorus, although on these team archetypes most of the time they will be Scarfed, I can obviously just like Helping Hand Ice Punch for the knockout. But this is a relatively versatile lead. I have a bunch of options from it, and I can just go from there. It's going to be Landorus and Zapdos coming out. Okay, I don't mind that at all. I just am really curious what item the Landorus has. Because if it's Choice Scarf, you'd imagine it's going to want to U-turn out right away. So what I want to do is just fake out Landorus and Trick Room. I could also just Ice Punch, but I really do think it's going to be Scarfed here. I could choose not to Mega Evolve, and by doing that means that should Landorus not be Scarfed if it's like max speed? Oh, I guess the speed changes would come into effect anyway, so that wouldn't really matter. So I'm just gonna Mega Evolve, yeah, Fake Out, and Trick Room. Yeah. I just want to Trick Room now, and then, yeah, if it's Scarf Landorus next turn, the Fake Out chip damage will do enough where Ice Punch will finish it off. So the main question is what Zapdos is really going to do here, because Zapdos does not put on too much pressure. You know, typically a Pokemon that's bulky and uses Tailwind to really set its team up, but obviously I am not as worried about Tailwind coming out from my opponent's side. I'm also pretty happy to see both Zapdos and Landorus, because those are two Pokemon I can Spore even if Misty Terrain is up, and of course I do have the Amoonguss in the back. So, like, I think Zapdos does get access to Roar, so if it does have that, that would be a pretty cool tech, but no switch outs obviously, because my opponent can't switch out. Gonna get a Fake Out off, and that should put it in Ice Punch KO range. Landorus is going to flinch, and it is going to be a Gigavolt Havoc coming out from the Zapdos. But I'm okay with that. That shouldn't knock out Gothitelle. If it goes into Kangaskhan, that might knock me out, but I'm cool with it knocking me out here. Landorus did try to go first before the Zapdos, but we already knew it was faster because of the way the abilities interacted, so it doesn't really tell me whether it's Scarfed or not. Gigavolt comes out, it is going to target down Kangaskhan, which is the better target. If it targeted Goth, I would have been in a really good spot. But this is also fine, because Kangaskhan now goes down, and I get a free switch in. So I get my Trick Room up, and now I can bring out Snorlax, to which I can just Belly Drum. So I'll bring Snorlax out. The only concern is that my opponent has Amoonguss in the back, and it let its min speed Amoonguss, and that I lose the initial speed tie. Of course, the Landorus here does need to swap out immediately. Or it needs to go for a U-turn, I think. So I'm going to Belly Drum. And I could heal pulse, but that wasn't really accomplish too much. I think I'm just gonna Psy Shock the Landers for damage. I could also switch out into a Mungus, which is kind of tempting. That might be worth considering. The other question is whether Landers plus Zapdos can, like, knock out the Snorlax. Like, Thunderbolt shouldn't do more than 30-40%. I'm just worried about, like, a superpower coming up from Landers as well. So maybe I actually want to just double up on Landers with a retarded Psyshock. And not Belly Drum this first turn. Because Zapdos being trapped in right now is good for me. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to double up on the Landers. I don't know it's set yet, and I don't want to risk it being, like, banded and getting a superpower off. I think Return plus Psyshock should get the knockout. Let's see. Ooh, actually, I don't think so. That did less than I expected. That's not good for me. Yeah, hangs on with the Sliver. Okay, that's fine. Thunderbolt comes out. And targeting Goth, actually. As Landers does just U-turn out. Okay, so I could have Belly Drummed there. Fortunate enough, I do hang on from that. But, yeah, I really thought Return plus Psyshock would get the knockout. And, like, that's a trade I'm normally willing to take. That's still, like, not the worst case. Like, if Amoonguss comes in now, then my opponent's going to have two completely passive Pokemon. So even if Amoonguss wins a speed tie, I'll still be in a pretty good spot. I just did not want to Belly Drum last turn because I wanted to see what Landers was going to commit itself to. And then we do see Amoonguss come out from my opponent's end. Not too surprising there. It's probably going to want to Spore me. I think I'm just going to Belly Drum here, though. And I could launch a Heal Pulse. That doesn't really seem to make much sense. I think I should go out into Amoonguss. Yeah. By bringing out my own Amoonguss, I can put on pressure against the Zapdos slot with Spore. The trap would be nice, but the thing is I won't faint to 2 Thunderbolts. So, I'm going to bring out Amoonguss. Yeah, like, hindsight's 2020, like, Belly Drumming last turn obviously would have been quite nice. My Snorlax does go first, so I'm not sure whether that means, you know, I just want a speed tie or whether I'm just naturally faster. I am probably going to be put to sleep on the Snorlax slot, but then now I can just Spore the Zapdos slot this upcoming turn. There's a Spore. Yep, goes into Snorlax. That's fine. But this is where, obviously, if I Belly Drum last turn, I could have just returned that slot for an instant knockout. Zapdos does go for a Heat Wave, so nice call, getting the Amoonguss on the switch-in. But that does not put me under half. And no burn, which is good. So I'm just going to return, burn a turn of sleep there, obviously, and I'm just going to go for a Spore onto Zapdos. Even if Zapdos protects or switches out, still the most optimal play there. And at this point, yeah, Snorlax is the main win con. I just really wish I got the knockout on Landers earlier, because then, like, I wouldn't have eaten up my berry, and I also would have just gotten rid of an Intimidator. So, yeah, it was kind of frustrating Return plus Psyshock didn't get the knockout, but that's what happens when... like, my Snorlax doesn't have too much attack investment, because at +6, obviously, you're knocking out everything anyway. So, yeah, I should have just stuck to my gut, assuming that it was Scarf Landers, and that I could have just gone for the Belly Drum. Yeah, but Landers is going to come in, so it is going to get the Intimidate off, but I'm okay with that. Like, I'm still at +5, so I'll still be able to knock everything out in the range that it's at. Put Landers to sleep, which means now it doesn't do damage, which is actually a pretty big deal as well, because I'd rather have Zapdos doing damage than Landers. So, Mungus, yep, just going for a Spore on the Snorlax. That is me going first 2 times in a row, so I assume that it is just not min speed. Okay. Trick Room is about to expire, I believe. It's the last turn. If I woke up here, that would be so huge. That would probably just be game. But I think I'm just going to return a Mungus. What do you do here if you're Landers? Do you swap back out? Because I want to Spore that slot, I think. Obviously, I could just Sludge Bomb to finish it off as well, though. I think I'll just Sludge Bomb it here. Because my opponent might just stay in with Landers. And, like, get a free switch in. Which I'm okay giving up. Because if Landers were to wake up, that would be a little bit more annoying. So I could potentially get 2 knockouts right now. Like, I'm obviously down 4-3. But now Snorlax is fully set up. And there isn't too much control on my opponent's end. By bringing in Amoonguss, that means the last Pokemon's not going to be... Like, if it's Feeny, that's fine, because Amoonguss can deal with Feeny. And if it's not Feeny, then I can put anything else to sleep, so I don't even have to worry. And he does stay in, which is good. Unfortunately for me, though, Snorlax does stay asleep. If it woke up there, I think pretty much would have won right there. But that's kind of bad. We're going to see Energy Ball come out. Not going to do too much through me, as I will pick up the knockout here onto Landorus. So now it's 3-3. Trick Room's about to expire. But I don't have my Berry on Snorlax, which is the main concern, and we haven't seen the last Pokemon on my opponent's end. So that's really going to be the question. Is it Metagross, Tyranitar, or Feedy? Yeah, I guess, like, a Thunderbolt plus Superpower probably honestly didn't even knock me out back then, so maybe I should have just went for the Belly Drum the turn that I doubled up into Landorus. I made that play assuming I'd get the knockout, and obviously because I didn't get the knockout, that was very bad. I think this is a pretty clear Spore into Zapdos. and recycle play. Actually, I should just return here. Yeah, it would really suck if I had a 3-turn sleep here. I'm gonna return the Amoonguss. Yeah, because then I can just Rage Powder. But if I get a... Because you just Heat Wave, Energy Ball, and then Energy Ball again. I don't think that's enough to knock out. Hopefully no high roll or crit on Amoonguss. Okay, nice. Yeah, hang on with the Sliver. And Snorlax is still well above half. I could have recycled, but then I would just get put back to sleep. So I need to get the knockout onto Amoonguss if I can. Although my Amoonguss goes first, so I guess we are all min speed. Unless I took the wrong Amoonguss, because I think I switched Amoonguss sets. Yep, just going for an Energy Ball. Onto the Amoonguss slot, interestingly enough. Crits me and special defense. Do I wake up, though? I don't. Okay, that's actually not the worst case, now that I think about it, because now I can go for the return onto Amoonguss. Part of me was considering switching out, but I actually don't think I should switch out, because... Although Amoonguss here easily could protect. That's annoying. The double up on Amoonguss makes sense. My opponent was probably just hoping to get the knockout. Because Amoonguss could just protect here. But then I would bring in Goth, and then I could heal Pulse, and then just trick him again. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, so I'm going to go for the return onto Amoonguss, get the Regenerator with my Amoonguss, and switch into Goth. So yeah, if I woke up last turn, I think that pretty much would have been game, because then Amoonguss can just Rage Powder, and then Snorlax can knock whatever's out, and then I have enough firepower. So unlucky 3-turn sleep. No protect from Amoonguss, though, which is good. And I do wake up with Snorlax. Looks like we have been speed tying this whole time, which is interesting. Now, the only downside is I don't know what my opponent's last Pokemon is. And the issue is that now I switched out Amoonguss, so I don't have redirection support, which is the one thing I was kind of worried about. It's really going to come down to who my opponent's last Pokemon is here. I might actually have to switch Snorlax back out. Like, you would think I'm in a good position, but it probably would have been better if I just stayed in with Amoonguss, because then I could have just Rage Powdered, as it is Metagross coming in. So I'm actually tempted to swap Snorlax out into Amoonguss and Trick Room right now. A Snorlax Iron Head or Zen Headbutt shouldn't knock me out, though. I don't know. It's close. It also could have a fighting type attack. Because if I switch it into Amoonguss, then I can start going for like the Heal Pulse game as well. But that would be a lot of turns. Do I just risk it and attack? I feel like it's more optimal to switch into Amoonguss. But I could get doubled up into Goth as well. I don't like this. I'm staying in. I'm not sure I agree with that. Especially because if Zapdos wakes up, Snorlax probably just gets doubled up into. Yeah, I probably should have switched out. And I should have stayed in with the Amoonguss there, I guess. But I wanted to trap my opponent in case Amoonguss protected, because I really thought it was going to protect there. Alright, just an Iron Head coming out. Oh, target's Goth! Wow. Okay. And Zapdos stays asleep. If I hit this high horsepower, that'll be game. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, I was really thinking about switching out, but my opponent called the potential switch and ended up Iron Heading Goth, so I don't even have to risk getting flinched or crit by the Metagross. Because even if Metagross doesn't outright knock me out with regular damage, either a crit or a flinch would seal it up there. And even if Zapdos woken up there, I still feel okay about my chances, because you would need a Thunderbolt and a Heat Wave to knock out Snorlax, and I don't think it does. But now I can just go for the return onto the Zapdos. I think, yeah, return onto Zapdos and Rage Powder. And no, even a Heat Wave crit won't knock out my Snorlax. That was a really intense game, though. One that ended up being a lot harder because, one, I had a 3-turn sleep with Snorlax, and two, I was a little bit too worried about the item on Landorus. I really do think it's Scarfed. The winning team that Yuri had, that won Oceania with Tapu Lele instead of Feeny, did have Scarf Landorus. And with those team comps, like Scarf Landorus is more or less the most common. So I could have stuck to my gut and even just stayed in with Kangaskhan did go down. So I could have just, yeah, honestly belly drummed. But I was really worrying, like, because if I lose Snorlax, I lose the game, right? So if I, like, do actually somehow get doubled up into with Thunderbolt and, like, Superpowered, if either crit, then I'd probably lose Snorlax, and that means it's game instantly. So, yeah, ultimately, I kind of played it a little bit safer. The game gets drawn out a little bit more. Fortunately, it ended up being okay. But, yeah, the Amoonguss on my opponent's side was very scary, especially because I did not bring Koko specifically for terrain control. But I think in terms of Pokemon choice, yeah, I kind of needed Amoonguss there. And, yeah, had I switched out Snorlax, like I was debating, then I actually would have lost the game there. So it kind of felt like a 50-50 kind of call, but Iron Heading Snorlax, yeah, I guess because I mean, if you're my opponent, it's like, do you risk letting Trick Room go up? Because I thought you really had to Iron Head Snorlax there, but my opponent was just thinking, okay, if he switches out Snorlax, I knock out Goth, then I just win the game. So, whew, yeah, that was intense, but just going to get into this next one with a really cool team. There's a Lopunny, Togetic, and a Milotic. So, definitely reminds me of some of the fun things that we saw on stream over in Oceania. Especially with the Lopunny and the Togekiss, both which made pretty deep runs in the tournament. But otherwise, Lele, Tyranitar, and Kartana. Once again, like, Kartana is an awful matchup for my team, which I really should edit, just because I've got all physical mons other than Koko. And got them, like, Amoonguss can't touch it, Goth can't really do much, especially because it's using Psyshock. Let's see, though, if I get Trick Room up, that's pretty decent for me, I'd say. Koko... I'm thinking Koko Goth here, actually. With Snorlax. I think Amoonguss is still probably a decent last call. It does really good against everything bar Kartana. Yeah, but once again, Kartana is just the main issue. Like, I have to ideally knock it out quickly with Koko. Yeah, I really don't like this matchup. And that's just the Kartana, not to mention my opponent also has fast Pokemon. And he's got something like Tyranitar, Togekiss can flinch as well, so matchup honestly isn't looking too great, but we'll see how we can maneuver our way around it. Yeah, that first game's though definitely really intense. So it's going to be Lopunny and Kartana. Okay. Now this is interesting, depending on which way the attacks go. Because you could easily just fake out Koko. And what do you do with the Kartana? Maybe I should have brought Kangaskhan instead. This is where running low kick also hurts because it does nothing to Kartana. I kind of want to protect turn 1 with Koko and Psyshock the Kartana to get chip damage off. Because if you're Lopunny, you really have to fake out the Koko here. Yeah, I'm going to Psyshock Heart. Because if I knock out Kartana, then my odds of winning this game just become so much higher. I don't think Lopunny can one-shot Koko. Actually, maybe Return does get the knockout. I don't know. Let's see. So, Lopunny, one of the fastest Pokemon around, pretty much. Koko's gonna protect. There's Fake Out. Into Protect. Okay, that's good. Oh, wow. I was not expecting that. That's gross. That's really not good for me. Okay. So that's knockoff. I broke a potential Sash, but losing my berry on Goth is a very big deal. I'm going to go for the Gigavolt Havoc here, still into Kartana. And I think I'll Trick Room, but this all goes not to plan if Lopunny just knocks out Koko. It might. It honestly might. But if it doesn't, then I'll knock out Kartana. Lopunny can only target one of my two. And I'm okay trading Goth for Kartana, I think. Just because Kartana is such a big threat to me. Because then I can bring in Amoonguss and just start redirection support. But yeah, the knockoff was basically the worst thing. And that's not too crazy. It actually did win the regional championships this past weekend on Alvin Hidayat's team. I forgot they got Encore. But it's okay, because Z-move goes through Encore. I literally forgot about, I forgot about Encore, but fortunately, yeah, with Z-moves, I actually don't have to worry about that, which is a very big deal, actually, because now I'll get Trick Room up as well. So, that's a great turn, because I did eliminate exactly what I needed to, which is this Kartana. So yeah, Z-move coming in clutch, don't have to worry about a Sash, that definitely should get the knockout, I think. Yeah, nice. And I will get my Trick Room up as well. So, looking a lot better than how the first turn played out, but I of course, now I am on board with Koko, so I'm probably going to have to swap out. I'm contemplating, honestly, a double switch out. This is a great time for Amoonguss to come in now. Goth could also just launch a Psyshock into Lopunny, which honestly might be worth, because it won't knock it out, but it'll put it in Sludge Bomb KO range. Lopunny's the biggest threat to my... Like, I got rid of Kartana, which was the main thing I was worried about, because it's bulkier, in the sense that my physical attacks don't do very much against it, so I needed Tapu Koko to deal with it. And Tapu Lele coming in here is actually perfect, because, yeah, I can just launch a Psyshock freely into Lopunny. It also means I can start sporing. I don't have to worry as much about terrain. You'd imagine the Lopunny here is going to want to protect. I wonder if it has protect, if it has fake out and encore though, because you're going to want a fighting type attack and normally like a return or ice punch. The only issue is I don't want to switch into a Mungus and just get psychicked. Yeah, so because of that, I'm actually going to stay in with Koko, because if I lose a Mungus, that'd be really bad. And I'm just going to side shock the Lopunny. I'm fine losing Goth here, I think. Yeah, the main issue is I don't know who Lele is going to want to target. If Lopunny doesn't have Protect, like I suspect it won't, then I'll just get a free knockout onto that as well, and then I'll be up 4-2, which is obviously great. With Trick Room still up. Not switching here, I mean, let's think. I guess I could have switched Koko out into a Mungus, because Lele probably targets Goth, so... yeah, it was probably better just to go for a side switch out. Let's see. And no Protect, yep, from the Lopunny, which is exactly what I expected. Boosted by Psychic Current, I think they should just get the knockout. Nice. So Mega Lopunny does go down. I'm up 4-2, but Koko is still encored, obviously. And there's a Psychic from Lele into Goth. So that's a little bit frustrating because I could have switched into a Mungus with Koko, but that's such an obvious switch, especially because Koko is encored, as Lele reveals Life Orb as well, which is good to know. So yeah, this is good because now I can bring out my Mungus and I can just Spore and switch out my Koko. It might be Togekiss as the last one though. So let's see. Nope, it's Tyranitar. Okay, that's good to see as well. We know my opponent has not used the Z move actually yet. So that makes things a little bit more interesting. Still got plenty of turns of Trick Room. It's probably best just to switch into Snorlax here and Spore the Lele. Spore and Lele is obvious, but Tyranitar, like Lele is obviously the more immediate threat, especially with Life Orb, whereas Tyranitar, worst case is it gets a low kick off if it calls the Snorlax switch in here. Let's see. No Protect from Lele, which is great news for me. So, actually, it probably would have been better if it protected. Yeah, because then I could have just Sludge Bombed and returned. As Tyranitar stomping Tantrums. Okay. That's interesting. I feel like Rock Slide is probably just a better play there overall, but, I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't actually think I want a Belly Drum right now. I think I want to just double up onto Lele. Because if I knock it out, then it's 3-on-1. Even if it protects, it could wake up and protect, but then I can just Trick Room it, Spore it the next turn. So if Lele doesn't wake up here, the game's over, I think. It needs to wake up, and my opponent needs to go for a Protect, and you might be inclined to attack, because you might think I'm going to Spore into the Tyranitar slot, and you're not expecting the Sludge Bomb, and no Protect comes out, which means I should just win the game here. So yeah, Sludge Bomb does a ton of damage. One of the main reasons I run it on Mungus, of course, is to cover all the Tapus. Bulu's the main threat, because that gives my team a lot of trouble. But against Lele, Koko, obviously against all those, it's good too. We actually do see the Z move coming out from the Tyranitar, so it is going to be the Dark Z move. Let's see who it targets. It's either going to get the knockout on Snorlax or do a lot to a Mungus, but the thing is I still have Koko in the back for damage output with Dazzling Gleam. And Dazzling does become single target now. So Black Hole Eclipse coming out is going to target down the Snorlax, which is probably the target I'd prefer, because now I can just Spore with the Mungus. I don't even know if this knocks out, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't even knock out, which is a testament to Snorlax's bulk. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I think Snorlax is just easily one of the best Pokemon in the format, and it was back in 2017 as well. Of course, it's already had a lot of dominant performances in 2018. So, with that, being able to eat up the Z move, it is the last turn of Trick Room, so to play it safe, I'm going to Recycle here with Snorlax and just Spore into the Tyranitar slot. No reason not to. No reason to go for a Belly Drum when I've already eaten up my berry. The Recycle just covers the Protect option here. High horsepowering, like you're going to get that off anyway, and you need to get the knockout anyway, so might as well just Recycle. So Spore Recycle, pretty much by far the safest play, covers everything. I think Sandstorm actually chips it enough so that my berry activates again, which is really nice. And at this point, Sand is also stalling out, so Koko can just deal with Tyranitar, obviously, in the endgame with Dazzling Gleam. But I don't even think it'll come to that. Yeah, like, even 2-on-1, just with Snorlax and Amoonguss, I feel pretty comfortable right now. My opponent has to go for flinches pretty much, but even with that, like, doesn't really do much. I'm just going to go for another Recycle here and a Spore. Yeah, and then I can just Belly Drum. But might as well Recycle. Like, every time with Snorlax, as I actually dodged the Rock Slide on Amoonguss' head, like, my opponent's only way of winning this was getting literally, like, probably 10 flinches in a row. And even with that, I would bring Koko out. Sandstorm would probably expire. And then I could just click Dazzling Gleam. So I don't think my opponent really had any out here, but might as well just click the Rock Slide button. Stomping Tantrum is an interesting call on Tyranitar, because, you know, we saw the full moveset, Rock Slide, Crunch, Protect. Did we see Protect? Yeah, we just did. Rock Slide, Stomping Tantrum, Protect, and Crunch. So, opting for Stomping Tantrum instead of something like Crunch or sorry, Low Kick or Ice Punch is interesting. I think Low Kick's really good specifically to deal with something like Snorlax and Kangaskhan's, because your damage output against those is significantly higher. But, yeah, now Belly Drum. And it is the last turn of Sandstorm, so I'll just switch out into Koko so I can click Dazzling Gleam as well. I guess I actually should have just high horsepowered, because if high horsepower connects, then Dazzling Gleam gets a knockout, so going for Belly Drum, a little bit excessive, but once again, I still don't think my opponent has any chance of winning this game now. Ultimately, this came down to the Encore. I think my opponent was expecting the Encore to pay dividends. Unfortunately, Z moves go through Encore. Like, that's such a big deal, because if I don't get that Z move off, I probably lose the game right there and then. Like, I assessed that I needed to knock out Cortana early on to win with my late game with Trick Room and Snorlax. This time around, I did get Trick Room up, and I also got Snorlax set up. So, pretty much got exactly what I was looking for in terms of my win cons, which is very fortunate. So, I'm just going to return now in Dazzling. Yeah, like, a crit Rock Slide wouldn't even knock out Koko, and faster, and 2 Dazzlings will knock it out. Which is why I should have just clicked High Horsepower last turn, because it would have saved me some time. But yeah, Dazzling there does 70%, a little bit more than that. Tyranitar still stays asleep, and Snorlax here. Really the MVP today, closing out this game as well. So yeah, Snorlax really putting in a ton of work, but the teammates definitely all supporting it very well as well. You can see how good Amoonguss plus Snorlax can be as a combination of Pokemon, but also, you know, Gothitelle really helping me set up Trick Room this game. In the last game, just a lot of fake out support. Like, both games I was able to get Trick Room up, I was able to get Snorlax set up, and was able to close the game out with Snorlax. First game, a little bit trickier because of the sleep rolls, because I fell asleep to my opponent's Amoonguss, and we were really just rolling the dice there. And then I thought the Amoonguss would protect, I switch in Goth, whereas if I just stayed in with the Amoonguss, I could have gone for a pretty safe Rage Powder, high horsepower play onto the Metagross back then. But we do end up with 2 wins, and 2 great games, definitely. That second team, definitely really cool as well. Lopunny, knockoff Cortana, Mega Lopunny with Encore, just a lot of cool tricks there. And fortunately enough, it ended up working out, but that was very, very scary. For sure. And I was kind of surprised, actually, that my opponent switched in Tapu Lele instead of Tyranitar. Because I think Tyranitar would have been a far better switching for my opponent in the position that we were in. But I guess maybe my opponent was just trying to bait out Amoonguss and just try to get a Psychic knockout onto it, because Amoonguss was my, like, Amoonguss Snorlax were my win cons, and Amoonguss supports Snorlax so well. So, yeah, definitely an interesting one, but we did get net 2 wins. So, yeah, it's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like, and go check out the ranked team analysis, which I uploaded over the weekend. If you have not already, that's linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. All right, peace.